হ্যালো গাইজ, ওয়ান্স অ্যাগেন ওয়েলকাম টু মাই ইউটিউব চ্যানেল হেল্পিং হ্যান্ড তাপস। আজকে আমি তোমাদের জন্য পিজিইজি পেপার ওয়ানের টোটাল কোশ্চেনের সলভ অ্যান্সার নিয়ে হাজির হয়েছি। তো কোনোরকম সময় নষ্ট না করে চলো শুরু করা যাক। ইন হুইচ পিরিয়ড অফ চসার্স লিটারারি ক্যারিয়ার ইজ দ্য ক্যান্টারবেরি টেলস ascribed? Answer English period. Next question. How many pilgrims does the narrator talk of? 30. What is the Chaucer's predominant metaphor to describe springtimes in the opening lines of General Ferox? Free creations. How many poems makes up Spenser's sonnet sequence Amority? 89. It's maybe 88 because sonnet 35 and sonnet 83 are the same. What does ever fixed mark in Shakespeare sonnet sequence Amority? Polster. In Shakespeare sonnet 130, what color is dun? Brown. What is the central conceit of the dance poems in canonizations? The lovers have been canonized. Declare B sets for. What is the genesis of Dryden's long poems Absaloms and Achitophels? Poppy's plot. What was Pope's purpose behind writing epistles to Dr. Abutrons to correct social maladies by evils? How many details portraits of the contemporary personage to be found in epistle to Dr. Abutrons? 3. Atticus, Buffo and Sporus. In S poem Proper Paradise Lost begins in medias res. What does medias res means? In the midst or in the middle? Lost, who is the archfiend? Satan. In Paradise Lost, who famously says, better to reign in hell than to serve in heaven. Satan, it's maybe Lucifer. What does the original name of Wordsworth poems Dissolution and Independence? The Lage Gotherer. Of which famous gardens are the reminded of in Coleridge's descriptions of Kubla Khan's Garden of Eden? In which poem Keats writes a rose sanctuary will I dress? Ode to Psyche. In the Ode to Nightingale, which is the operative word connecting stanzas 7 and 8 and giving a dramatic twist? Forlorn. In Ode to a Grecian Nun, why is the bride still unravished? She is carved on the urn or bride, that means urn is relationship with quietness. In what light does the modern reader necessarily perceives a text like in memoriam? Historical piece, a literary artifacts. In the Scholar Gypsies, what is the poet's attitudes toward the gypsy? That of an adult towards a child. And Adriel's del Sarto, what is the name of Adria's wife? Lucrezia. What is the steadfast rock the Emily Bronte refers to in her poem No Coward Soul, God's Immortality? What is the subtitle of Hopkins' poem The Wind Hover? The Christ our Lord. From which collections of W.B. Yeats' poetry is the poem Sailing to Byzantine taken? The Tower. What is the Byzantine in Sailing to Byzantines? A symbol. Unexplored world where old man wishes to go. In which year was the Wasteland published? 1922. What makes audience unknown citizens unknown? A contemporary situations of a modern man. It may also be called number. What is the first aspect of that strikes a reader of this bread I break? Recondite nature. What is the predominant metaphor on which the poem The Whitsun Weddings is built up? Metaphor of marriage. In a poem like Hog Roasting, to what effect does Ted Hughes use animal imagery? Philosophical or metaphorical truth? On whose life is the book of the Duchess based? The date of Blancy and wife of Chaucer's patron John of Gaunt, To which period of Chaucer's career is Troilus and precedes ascribes? Italian period. Which day does the Parliament of House describes? Valentine Day. What is the name of the host of the Tabard Inn in the Canterbury Tales? Harry Bailey. I know I have the body but a weak and feeble woman's, but I have the heart of a king. Who uttered this to bury? Queen Elizabeth. Sonnets of Amority are about a woman. Who was he? Elizabeth Boyle. Spencer. Amority is unprecedented Puritan humanist adaptations of the sonnet sequence to a relationship which ends in marriage. Who said this? Alan Sinfield. How many books were planned for the Fairy Queen by Spencer? 24 books. How many 5-foot iambic lines are there in the Spencerian stanza? 9. Why lovers' witherings are the sweet self glowest? Who is addressed in this line by Shakespeare? Youth, his friend, or a lovely boy? Whatever is the options. No Mars his sword, nor wax quicks fear shall burn. Who is this Mars in this line? God of war. What is implied by the statements that Shakespeare's sonnet 130 goes against the traditional love poem, counters all conventional descriptions of the lady? Who used the term metaphysical for the first time? Dr. Samuel Johnson. Who found unfight sensibility in the metaphysical poets? T.S. Eliot. What does palsy means in the poem of canonizations? Paralysis. The mind what oceans where kind and does trade its own resemblance finds. Which figures of speech used here? Metaphor. Who is targeted in Absalom and Achitophels? The Earl of Shaftesbury, the leader of the Whigs party. It may be Achitophels or Anthony Ashley Cooper. Who is the Jubistice in Absalom and Achitophels? Roman Catholics. And the Levites, the Byzantine clergy. Who is the Atticus in an Astrophel to Dr. Abus Hoodnot? Joseph Addison. Who does Milton invoke in Paradise Lost? Heavenly Muse. What is the Dorian mood refers to in Paradise Lost? A kind of Greek music. Dorian mood means a kind of Greek music. Which poems in the contrary piece of the Lamb? The Tiger. Which poem is the star of 1798 lyrical balance? Tintern Abbey. What does Wordsworth portray in the poem Resolution and the Independence? Infirmity in old age, or moral generalizations about life, or mundane account of his life? Which literary piece inspired the poem Kubla Khan? Tartuffer's Pilgrims. What does Alastar's represents in the titular poems? A youth, uncorrupted feelings, and adventurous genius. Which poem is the source of the line where beauty cannot keep her lustrous eyes, or new love pine at them beyond tomorrow? Ode to Nightingale. Who is the subject of In Memoriam? Arthur Henry Hallam. As what type of poetry is the scholar gypsy usually considered? Pastoral elegy. What is the most important characteristics of the dramatic monologue? The speaker usually addresses with one or more pupils. A single person, not the poet, utters the entire poem in a specific situation at a critical moment. That's all for today. Keep updated and don't forget to share and subscribe my channels to get the later video or paper 2, 3 and 4. Thank you. Have a good day.